Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO. It's a beautiful, misting, raining Monday. You say, Troy, you live on an island. How can that be nice? It's the holiday season. So when you see a little bit of gray and you see the rain coming down, you see the steam coming up, the fog moving in, it really does make you feel like the holiday season. See, I was up in the Ozark Mountains with Dalton last week, and you could see the fog going through the valleys, the crisp air, the leaves turning. Santa Claus, downtown Branson. Got to spend some time in front of the fireplace, just chilling, and that's when you realize, you know what, we have so much to be thankful for. And as I came back down from taking care of some clients up there, and he was taking care of family business, and I started realizing we need to put out another video that we had new evidence that had been presented in this clash of two great cultures. I started thinking, okay, but if we want to focus on wisdom journalism, what is it that we're trying to accomplish? And I thought, I know what it is. It's to get to the truth. It's to help people that see this try to figure out, can I trust my leader? We know leaders aren't perfect. We know that sometimes they stretch or they embellish what's happening. But can we trust them? Can we get enough evidence to be able to make a wise decision and realize in the future what we can learn from this? Because when you use wisdom journalism, it's focus in on the situation, grab the information that you can, and then be able to make calculated risks in the future not to fall into the same type of traps or take the same risk if it's too much. So that's what we've done. Friday before I left for Kansas City, Terry LaCore, who you guys know is my mentor, he's a friend, he's a client, he's also a major investor in Prove It, reached out and said, hey, I'm going to send you over some documents you need to read. There's about 80 pages. Some of them are text messages, some of them are emails. It should cover everybody in the arena. So he goes, and it isn't going to make us out to look perfect. He goes, but Troy, I believe in getting the truth out there. Let people know what's going on. I said, okay. He said, the only thing I don't want you to do is don't show emails, don't show phone numbers. If you've got any questions, you can contact me or Jennifer Grace. And I said, okay, Jennifer's cool with this? He goes, absolutely. So I started looking through them. I started putting them on one screen and looking at what Ron Williams had written over at his Breaking Silence page. I put them on the screen, and as I listened to what Brian Underwood had spoken live from a stage in Dallas at the launch event, weighing it against the facts. So as I went through it all, I saw where things were lining up. I also saw where there was some fudging, if you will, of what the truth was. But the preponderance of evidence that is there shows that, okay, this shows some of what Ron Williams said. Yes, Ron Williams had a letter of intent in 2013. It looks like from Access Global saying, hey, I might want to do this. It shows where in 2014, him and Terry kind of teamed up to try to do a JV deal and bring this to market, and it just didn't work. The preponderance of evidence shows that Ron Williams and his team did hedge a little bit on the website that they wrote. Ron in his letter makes it out to be, I'm perfect. There's nothing wrong with me. Go check my professional background. And basically he said that because he was putting up some really derogatory stuff about Terry LaCore and Brian Underwood and even myself. So we did that. We went and looked, and it's like, well, the company's not made a profit. They're $20 million in deficit. Everything rolls from the founder, the chairman, the CEO, and that's Ron Williams, except for a few years where he disappeared. Does look like he sold the majority of his holdings. So a company's got great products. They've got a good culture, but their leadership hasn't figured out how to make a profit in the business model, is what that looks like. We went over and we looked at the stuff that's been written about Terry LaCore, read what the evidence was from the critics, and I also reread the stuff that we have published showing legal documents and a track record of what took place. Saw that. Looked at what they'd written about Brian Underwood. Looked at the preponderance of proof that's there, the evidence. Okay, yeah, he's been with some companies that have had a bad issue, but he wasn't named in any of that. Rippling failed, but he shared from stage why it failed, and that backed up the evidence that we'd had from Terry LaCore on Rippling. And now we're to prove it. And based on the information that comes from Ron Williams' emails and Access Global's emails and Brian's emails, it looks like, okay, somewhere along the line, here's what happened. Ron Williams and Brian Underwood looked like they were really close to putting some kind of a JV thing together, and it all fell apart. Kind of sounds like a bad marriage, except in this case, they were able to do the breakup prior to walking down the aisle and doing the nuptials. So it's an engagement that went bad, if you will. So I started looking at that and saying, okay, if we can get this information out to the people, then we're good. I went back over onto the website and said, okay, what's the ground rules? What can we look at? And one thing stuck out to me, and I thought, okay, this does show that there's evidence on the Forever Green side that they are fudging the truth, that they are making things look like, well, I don't know, it's like an illusion. It's subterfuge, if you will. Prime example. It is well documented by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office that Ron Williams and Forever Green applied in 2013 for the Ketopia trademark, which was later approved. This was long before Ron and Mr. LaCore began their explorations. Well, I looked at this, and the image that they put up actually does show that on October 30th, 2013, Ron Williams, the individual, nowhere is Forever Green mentioned, applied for and later abandoned the trademark. Now, was that abandonment after him and Terry realized that the product wasn't ready to take to market? Don't know. Maybe that'll come out in court. But wait a minute, Troy. That paragraph said Forever Green was involved. Well, they are. And that happened on June 29th of 2015 when Forever Green Limited Partnership LLC, through their attorney of record, John Stingham, applied for the trademark. 2 different serial numbers. The first serial number, published on the Breaking Silence website, is serial number 86105-485. The live trademark is 866-77771. 2 different things. But, well, Troy, it's just hedging the truth, hedging the facts. Well, it is. That paragraph could be, well, they both did apply. It was later approved. We just were, time and space we were trying to make. Could be. But it does go to show that neither side in this hunt is going to be totally spotless, pure white. Anytime a relationship breaks down, it's because there's been mistrust that's come from both sides. It's not just a one-sided relationship that went bad. Can those happen in personal relationships? I suppose they can. But in business, usually there's something that's happened. There's a miscommunication. There's a discommunication. There's cheating that's gone on. There's something that happened that caused both sides to say, wait a minute, hands off, I can't trust you. I didn't trust you enough, so I cheated on you. I can't trust you now because you cheated on me. That's the name of the game. So I want you to go through everything that's here, everything that we're going to put up. If you care about this, if you don't care about it, so be it. For the critics, we got a couple of posers out there on YouTube right now. It looks like they might work for the communication team at Forever Green because all they ever want to talk about is me. Okay, the only dog I have in this hunt is the fact that I've got friends in both sides. I have clients in both sides. I'm getting paid by one of my clients over here at Prove It. I'm working hand in hand with their team. Prove It is my client. I'm working with them. That's what we do. We help, in this case, try to weed through all the compliance and make sure the field's doing stuff right. Oh, Troy, there we go. We know it. That's true. But I've also got clients that I'm getting paid by who are major investors in Forever Green. And the goal is to keep their assets and their equity growing, not getting all messed up in a lawsuit. And in this case, where in the last month and a half, we've gone from over $1 a share to down in the 60 cents a share. I mean, it just sucks. So, there's stuff. And then, most of all, my biasness comes out with the fact that I have great friends that are in the farmer's market over at Forever Green and are in the Prover Nation over at Prove It. And I don't want to see any of them hurt. So whereas there's a monetary remuneration coming into me from working directly with the Prove It leadership, my indirect remuneration from working with the Forever Green people come from my clients that are there and from working with their field force to make sure that none of them get brought into the lawsuit like Ron Williams has sued some of the reps, it looks like, over in Prove It. So our dog's circling, trying to figure this all out. At the end of the day, you've got to look at the preponderance of proof and decide, do we continue to trust and follow our leader, Ron Williams? Do we continue to trust and follow our leader, Brian Underwood? Or do we just blow this whole thing off, go build our freaking businesses and let the judge work it out? And that is what I would suggest you do, because I'm pretty sure no matter how this lawsuit turns out, no matter all the money that's wasted in court, at the end of the day, Forever Green's going to continue to go build their business. Prove It's going to continue to build its business. Don't know what Access Global's going to do, but both companies are going to continue to flourish, and people are going to go out there and they're going to use the products to change people's lives and to make money themselves. Live life like it's an epic adventure. Stay dangerous, stay strong, and if you're in network marketing, act like it.